A project in Hutchinson helping people make their homes look a little better.
It's a grant program that focuses on the curb appeal of homes and helps bring neighbors together.
12 News reporter Gabriela Hernandez talked to homeowners using this program and how it's helped them.
Residents of this Hutchinson neighborhood, including these homeowners, have been able to update their curb appeal thanks to the Healthy Neighborhood Initiative. Zachary and Shondell Wolf using the program to add some much needed improvements, stone pathways, flowers, and more to their home.
We're able to update our pathway to a more like stone texture, and it's very beautiful. And then we were able to add numerous amount of florals and bushes to make our curb appeal better.
The program also bringing the community closer.
You know, we trade seeds or ideas, or you know, we help each other. It's really brought us all together.
Just looking around at other houses around, I've noticed a lot more outdoor projects and things like that. A lot more area beautification going on.
Denise Gilliland, Neighborhood Development Manager, says it instills pride, especially for older neighborhoods.
This was a program that was specifically for the featured neighborhoods south of 11th Street. Those neighborhoods in general seem to have a few more issues with just upkeep of the properties. So we wanted to inspire collaboration among residents as well as pride.
This program really allowed us to be able to focus on our yard this summer rather than just doing what we can with what we have. Our neighborhood slowly but surely becoming, more and more beautiful.
The program is set to take another round of applicants in 2025. In Hutchinson, Gabriela Hernandez, 12 News.
So the program's called the Block by Block Investment Program. It does require at least 5 neighbors to participate together. It includes projects ranging from updating porches, replacing front doors, and installing new exterior windows, or even adding flower beds.
If you're interested in applying, the link is in our links that we mentioned tab on our KWCH website and also our KWCH 12 News app.